Y'all know what it is, man. HHGTV, the High Level Network. Today, man, we got a very special guest. Y'all always hear me say that every intro. Today, we got my guy, Passport Rav here.
Yeah, what it sound like.
Man, how are you, brother?
Feeling good. It's always great to release some new music, you know. So, yeah, definitely feeling good this week. It's a great week for hip-hop.
Great week for hip-hop. I'm glad your name is in the middle of this great week for hip-hop.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I really was just like, it wasn't planned. It was just like, it was planned, but I didn't think it was going to be like the same week that everybody's dropping.
Literally, you know what I mean? So, man, we got to jump into it, man. Let's go into it, man. Who is Passport Rav, man? Tell us about who you are.
Word. Jamaican American, producer, rapper, all around, just music lover, creative. Yeah. From Jersey, moved out here about 7 years. Been in Brooklyn for about 7 years. Yeah.
How was that, man? The transition from making that transition from music, because I know you was doing music while you was living in Jersey. So how was that, man? Like, because I know Jersey sound is a little bit. First of all, salute to all the artists from Jersey, but like, yo, just making that transition from Jersey to NY to kind of adapting into this scene, the underground scene.
Well, it's like growing up, I always loved New York music and New York artists. So, like the people I was around, was always fascinated with just like Jersey artists too, but just like the New York sound and just like the East Coast sound. So somewhere in me always wanted to live in New York. Like I knew like I belonged in New York, especially for like what I was trying to do. So, once I made that move, New York's been great to me. And, it's still not too far from home. So I go back sometimes here and there, but yeah, like it's been beautiful. I feel like this is a place where if you're talented, if you got something to say, like you could make a name for yourself. You could get yourself out there,
and without being judged to a degree. Yeah,
it's just open. It's like, it still has everywhere, like every city, politics and just like things and like favoritism, all this. It's everywhere, but it's just more opportunities out here. So no matter what, like if you grind and you're consistent, and patient, like. It comes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name Passport Rav, bro?
So originally it was Rav. It was like growing up, it was Rav for ravenous.
Okay.
Starving. So it went from that to it was Ravenous Productions, because I also produce. So the P is also for like producer, but then it just turned into Passport, because it's like I love to travel. I want my music to take you somewhere. So it's like double meanings, because I'm a rapper producer. So
got you.
Yeah.
So fire, man. How would you say has traveling shaped the way you make beats or the way you make your music? How has traveling influenced like your sound, so to speak?
Seeing the world, and just knowing what other people are tapped into, realizing how big the world is, and like it definitely inspired me to keep going and think of the world when I make music, because it's not just my hood or this hood or the East Coast, West Coast, South. It's just like it's a huge planet of people that love hip hop, and like if I just could tap into like a small percentage of the people around the whole world, I'd be, I wouldn't need a job, so yeah. This is dope for sure. Like seeing it firsthand, like seeing it, because you could see it on the internet, but like when you're there and like the smell of other countries, the food and the different mentalities or whatever, it's dope.
Dope shit, bro. I can definitely hear a lot of that in a lot of your music. Because on a previous to this project, man, I know you had dropped the last joint, but I know you collaborated with, what's the name on there? I do not want to forget the nigga's name.
Neff.
Yes. And I and a lot of your music, I hear that a lot. It takes me to a lot of different places. Sonically, I even said this before, but sonically, bro, it's just like, yo, your sound is just like, you're not stuck on one sound.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think it's just like the beats kind of take me places. I still feel like there is some, it's not, I'm not like in a box, but there's stuff, if you just let all of the albums play through, it makes sense, you know what I mean? Like, I guess, like, maybe one day, like, I have certain fans that be like, yo, you should try some, like, faster music and get some, like, drill type and trap stuff in there or whatever, and I'm like, maybe one day, but, like, as far as, like, tempo and, like, sound, it's, yeah.
Which one would you say you got more of a passion for? Would it be rapping or would it be producing?
Both, they're both equally. They're like my children. You know, like I don't love either one more. It's like it depends on what day. But yeah, those creative outlets. If I was to pick one, I would say performing for sure. Just performing and like being on a stage and like making people react with my words. It's like there's no other feeling like that.
I got a chance to see you perform at Bushwick Collective.
Oh, word, yeah.
Absolutely.
My biggest.
That's actually where I kind of introduced myself to you.
Yeah, I remember. I remember for sure, man. The biggest stage of my life. That was the most people I ever performed in front of, and I was definitely like nervous. It was like, you know what I mean? Like I broke my virginity that day for festival level like performances, because it's different. I tell you, like it's different. I was not as comfortable as I was when I'm in front of 100 or 200 people. I tell you that.
I mean, it definitely was a lot of folks out there. Yeah. And you definitely held your own out there, though.
I appreciate it, man.
Definitely held your own out there, absolutely. I want to get into more of like conscious hip hop to a degree, because I feel like some of what you do is very conscious. Yeah. I don't want to box you in or label it as that, but that's what, as a fan, is what I walk away from.
Word.
So how would you say rather your music like correlates with it being conscious? Would you say it as that, or would you say like, yo, I'm somewhat of like, I'm going in, I'm going out, just trying everything?
So yeah, that's fun. So I feel like I've said it before on some track, but I was like, it's conscious ratchetness or whatever. Like it's somewhere in between, because I feel like it's a little too like dark, sometimes street, to be conscious, and then it's a little too, you know what I mean? Like yeah, so it's somewhere in between, conscious ratchet. Yeah.
And the only reason why I asked that too, because I remember you had dropped your Malcolm X joint. Yeah. And I was thinking, I'm like, damn, I don't know if we should label. I don't want to label him as that, but I definitely feel like there's some consciousness going on with rap.
Yeah, I want people to think nonetheless. Like even if it is some like having fun type record, like, you know what I mean, like the Batman and Robin joint or whatever, or you know, it's just like I still want people to think and have fun at the same time. Malcolm on Twitter, that was definitely like my biggest record for, you know, like for a very long time. Still is to this day. You know
my
what I mean?
Introduction
like,
to you, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word, man.
Yeah, because that was going around like on social media for like quite some time. Twitter, shit like that.
Yeah,
that's when I had seen it.
Yeah, no, you know, that was my first like success on radio. As far as like on paper, that is like my most successful like moment in hip hop. But it's like I make music based on what I feel, you know, and like what my spirit kind of drives me to do. And certain moments it's just like, yeah, you know, I want you to think deeper than like, you know, like where are we as a society? And then sometimes I just want to have fun. Sometimes I just want to give you bars and like make people laugh, make people react, you know.
It's funny that you say that, man, because it's like, to a degree, I mean, it's definitely kind of backs up this question, but I want to get into independence. You are producing, you're rapping, of course, but and to a degree, I mean, I know you still work with a lot of big producers, but you also, like I said again, you producing. So would you say that, yo, you kind of cut out the middleman to a degree with like, yo, you doing things independently on your own?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think nowadays it's like you have to, you know, I feel like you have to kind of figure things out on your own, or you're just going to be sitting around waiting, you know, and it's like, I feel like that's probably why, I mean, I was always attracted to beats. I'm kind of like a beat first kind of person, where if the beat is dope, I might love the track, even if the bars are a little trash or just boring or whatever. But, you know, after a while, it was like, yeah, I'm not waiting for producers. I'm going to make my own beats, you know, until other people want to work with me, and until more, you know, bought my own camera, you know, I'm going to shoot my own videos, until, like, putting content out there, until more people decide to want to work and help, because it's definitely, it takes a team of people to make things happen. You can't do everything on your own, but I'm also the type where I'm not going to wait, you know what I mean? Like,
and that's why I kind of, like, I had to ask that, man, because like just from tuning into your lives, I'm like, yo, damn, this nigga's always cooking, always got some shit he doing. Like you're always in the midst of like that, where like, yo, we gotta mention Rav, like we, you know what I mean, like you're not too far off. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, I want the respect for both, man. You know, as a producer and a rapper, I'm deadly with it. So you know, it's like, yeah,
that's a fact. Let's get into Windows, bro.
Yeah.
How did this come about?
So me and Megalodon, we've been saying like we want to work. We did a couple tracks in the past, and we was just like, you know, it's time to do a whole project. And honestly, in the span of probably 2 months of just going back and forth with beats, I really love his sound and his rhythm. And you know, like Detroit producers are different. They just have like, it's something in the water or something with Detroit. They just, the drums and like things are just always just unique, and the sound and the choice of music. So it was a pleasure working with Megalodon on this project. We kind of just came up with the tracks first and just came up with the music and just decided like, okay, where's this going? And we was just like, you know, windows of the soul, you know, it's just like that's what this represents. It's like, you know, my inner child and the things that I've witnessed as a youth to a grown man.
Bro, it's so, I mean, I said it off camera, but being that you just said that, we got a lot of things going on in this outside of the window, so to speak, right? So I'm looking at, it gotta be the towers, correct? We got guns here, we got women here, we got planes here, palm trees here. All of this, how does this all come together for you?
So shout out to Mighty Shay. I pretty much described how I wanted it to look, and more or less a collage of the things that I've witnessed as an inner child. So this represents like my inner child and witnessing so some goodness, some pretty things, which is the palm trees, traveling, you know, the plane represents traveling, but then women, like my love for women, and sometimes I'm like, am I addicted to women? You know, it's like from seeing things as an early age, guns, which is the streets and violence, and then this is supposed to be like drugs, and then people making fast money around me, and you know, trying to figure out like where do I fit. The towers, which is just something, you know, like even though I was in Jersey, where I was, it was like I could see the towers like from a distance and seeing the smoke, and then like having, you know, friends of family that was like working that day, and just that traumatic moment. So it's just like, yeah, the good, the bad, the ugly, you know, all in one, the windows of the soul.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful, bro. Shout out to the artists again. This cover art is insane, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. I mean,
no doubt.
Got the bandanas too, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, hit me up, the band camp and all that.
Absolutely, man. So I know you had job, you got joints. Shout out to my guy Old Dog. You got Bub Styles on there. What was it like as far as future wise? Were you particular with who you wanted, or did you kind of just like, yo?
So it's just based on the tracks. It's all just, you know, the music is feelings. It's just like feelings and a lot of emotions into music, which is like, I tweeted this the other day, just not to go too off track, but like, I put a lot of feelings and emotions into the music, but once the product is done, you have to take your feelings out. There's no feelings in the product, you know, but it's like, I attach myself to it. I'm just like, this is my baby, like, you gotta love this, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's a product. I have to push it as such and market it as such, you know, and get my feelings out of it, even though my feelings are all, you know, whatever. So it's just like, I'll hear certain tracks and just like Damon Wayans, that joint, and I was just like, man, this bounce, and you know, shout out to O-Dog, who, you know, who is a part of this thing that's going on in New York right now. You know, it's like this wave, wave of like of emerging fire right now.
Renaissance, as my guy Sunez called it. Shout out Sunez.
Yes, shout out to him, man. Yes, the Renaissance, and yeah, and then. The other track, Operation Dark Winter, it was just so dark and gritty, and I'm like, man, this sounds like some posse cut type joint. And originally, I was trying to get all of Umbrella on there, you know, like
really?
I was trying to get Umbrella on there.
Wow.
You know, like, you know, I fucks with them heavy, you know, like
shout out to the Umbrella crew.
Yeah,
absolutely.
man, they're building a legendary like catalog right now.
Yes,
so
sir.
You know, so it's like
shout
at the end of the day, it was just like,
well.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Coach, Pro, Mickey Diamond, like, you know what I mean? So I ended up getting Ala Preem on there.
Yes.
And then I was just like, you know what? Like, I want a third verse, and ended up getting Bub Styles, and he was with it. So I was just like, yeah, this is different.
Y'all all came together and delivered, of course.
Yeah.
But it's like, when I heard that, truth be told, bro, when I heard it, I was like, damn, I didn't even expect this coming, like, being on there, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, from a fan perspective, you definitely hit me with I want to say like a right hook, so to speak.
Yeah,
I didn't see that one
she try to
coming
box
at
me,
all.
and I'm gonna jump out that box.
Absolutely,
like, oh, you
man. So you got a favorite joint on there?
If I got a favorite?
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, Operation Dark Winter for me is just like that represents the darkness in this collage, you know. And then but I would say Survival. Survival will probably be my personal favorite because it just like it touches me like every time, you know, like every time I hear it, it really like strikes that nerve where I'm like, man, this is like my life on a track. You know, if I was to ever like, that's the perfect description of like what I feel like, you know what I mean? Like my life gradually overcoming all the obstacles and just like daily mental health and all of that, like surviving so much. That's
actually dope that you said that, man. That's what I was about to. It's a good way to segue to the next question because I was about to ask you about your mental health and because I know you do a lot of training. I know you do a lot. There's a lot of things that you do. I'm always studying, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, how does that correlate? Your mental health and your training. How does that kind of like ease your mental health for you?
Yeah, like the martial arts. You know, it's funny. It's like I really looked at working out martial arts just to get nice and sharpen my skills. I've been doing it all my life, but when I started like training with the group probably a year or so, and at first it was just like I just want to get nice and get in shape, but then I realized I'm like, as I'm going every week, I'm like, oh, this is for my mental also. This is more for my mental, just because a lot of the things that we train, I mean, you know, our sensei would tell us this don't work in a street fight. Like don't try this in a street fight, you will get punched in the face, you know. It's like and then sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this, you know, for? But then I realize I'm like, just the movement itself, just a way to release and a way to like move the body. And yeah, it's totally for mental health. I consider it like church for real. You know, like every time if I don't go, I feel it, like I could tell. You know?
So you say you've been doing it your whole life, so it's something that you even done as a youth as well?
Yeah, it started off as Taekwondo when I was probably 14 or something, and then like just in and out different styles. Pencak Silat, which is a Philippine style, which to me was a little more realistic, more useful. I like self-taught boxing, just watching, you know, YouTube and whatnot. But yeah, a little bit of everything.
That's dope, bro. Yeah. My son want to get into karate and shit, man.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, especially starting early. I feel like people look at me and they're so surprised. I'm like, I was working on a previous fight scene with this director, and it's funny. I was like, yeah, at this point I'm gonna do a kickflip up off the ground, and he's like, yo, Rav, like, what are you talking about a kickflip? Like, he's like, you're 6'3" and 200 and something pounds. Like, who is doing this kickflip? I'm gonna do the kickflip up off the ground. I'm like, I've been doing this all my life. And he's like, and then once I showed him, I'm like, bro, like it's like riding a bike, because I've been like, as a kid, there's so many years of doing it that, you know, people are just surprised like when they see what I could do for my size.
I mean, I wouldn't shit. I mean, there's athletic big guys out there.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. So, what would you say your message is in your music overall? Because you take us to so many different places, right?
Yeah, for sure. The overall message of my music is to never stop believing in yourself, keep going. Don't limit yourself, and be yourself. Yeah, literally be yourself. You know, I don't have to rap about what everybody's rapping about. I don't have to be typical or just try to fit in something. Literally, just you could be yourself and just be dope at it.
Fire, bro. Take us out of here, man. Give us a gem, Rav.
Word. Like I said, never stop believing in yourself. Do what you love to do. You know what I mean? And yeah. You ain't losing as long as you're doing what you love to do. You can get all my music, passportrav.bandcamp.com, YouTube, Passport Rav, everything at Passport Rav. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Instagram. You know, you can catch me making beats live and all of that.
That's some shit everybody should tune in for. I was in your live this morning, and you did a live yesterday. That was fire, man.
Try and get back on it. You know, try and be more consistent.
Absolutely. You've been dealing with the MPC for a long time.
I mean, like back in the day when I was a kid, like my older brothers had like the old school joints, but now this new one, I've been rocking with that for like a couple years, a year or two.
Fire, man. Y'all heard it here first. Hip Hop Gems TV. Yeah. Passport Rav.
Yeah, get that Windows album produced by Megalodon. Peep that Batman and Robin video,
which was hilarious, by the way. That shit was fire though, bro. Creatively, what you did there, man. dope shit, bro.
No doubt.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you stopping by, man.
Shout out to Hip Hop Gems. You already know what it sound like. Passport.
You already know what it is, man.